Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's time for the predictions video, and in this video, we're going to go look at all of the most recent skins that were literally just accepted and rotated in about 3 hours ago. And the main thing that you need to be aware of very quickly is the amount of sales that these have had already. It is ridiculous. So in this video, of course, we're going to look out to potentially figure out which of these skins might be the best investment, which of these skins could potentially give us those delicious profits. But like I said, a lot of these skins have been selling a ridiculous amount. So here's a little thing just to keep you informed in. When you're on the SCMM section with the Rust store, you might notice that the estimated sales tends to lag behind with the subscribers. Let me just explain to you what subscribers is. Let's just hop over into here. When you are looking on the workshop page for an accepted skin, if you scroll down, you will see current subscribers, right? When you buy a skin, for example, the metal face mask, the pirate one, you automatically become a subscriber to the skin. This would mean over 10,000 people have already bought this pirate skin. Make sense? Now, what we can't figure out properly is whether those people bought 10 or 50 or 100. This is where SCMM, with an algorithm, tries to figure things out. So this is always going to lag behind, usually on the first day or two, and then eventually it'll get a good idea of what potentially will be the total sales in the end. So we're just over 3 hours, and this has already got 10,000 sales. Wow, that is maddening, isn't it? So how about we just jump straight in and start talking about the Pirate Tier 3 collection straight away. So ridiculously high sales already. The face mask is selling a lot more in comparison to the chest plate. So let's be aware of that. That seems to be 1,500 sales in the lead compared to this already. But I get the idea a lot of people are greatly appreciating it. And I'm thinking a lot of people thinking, you know what, I could put that with my blackout set. You could have the one leader in the group wear the pirate face mask when everybody else wears the regular blackout, and you'd stand out, you know who the leader is. That's cool. That's awesome. But right here, it's a brand new collection in the form of core pieces. So we already had our primitive pirate stuff, but now with the very beginning of the core pieces, we have tier 3. And with core pieces, I'm referring to hoodie and pants, tier 2 armor, and tier 3 armor. Now, the core pieces, these groups of skins tend to be the skins that give you the best profits and whatnot. And with this being the very first one, we now, in the future, hopefully are waiting for the arrival of the tier 2 and the hoodie and pants. Now, even if we see them simply on the workshop, people still have a nice anticipation buyout on these, all right? And when we hopefully eventually see them actually appear in the store, we will see a nice spike in price. And the great example for that was last week when we saw the reptile hoodie and pants being accepted. So this was accepted. What happened to the reptile tier 3? Well, it spiked up in demand and price. This is now selling for $5.50. This is now selling for $2.68. Very nice. And yeah, they also sold for well, that sold 99 cents, but anyway, the main point that we want to be concerned about, how many sales will that pirate tier 3 potentially sell? Because, you know, this sold like 17,000, and when you look at this sold just under 19,000, so that's reasonably okay with each other. That's going to be healthy in the long run. What we are concerned about right now is, as I said, after just over 3,000, after just over 3 hours, we've already got 10,000 sales on this. That's a little bit awkward. Now, initially, earlier, when I did my regular Rust rotation video, I looked at that and I thought, you know what? I reckon by default, the Pirate Tier 3 is probably going to have 30,000 sales. At the current rate, it looks like it might have more. But we potentially might be all right, okay? Because it's the first core piece. When we see hoodie and pants or tier 2 potentially appear later on, they might just have as much sales, maybe even more. That could potentially happen. That's why I also wanted to mention the Reptile Hunter, how the sales don't really line up perfectly, but if it's fairly close to each other, it should be all right. And just to be an extra bit reassuring with you, go take a look at the last year black skins that we saw. So the one thing that I also want to bring up, and I know a lot of you are potentially thinking about this, it is a black skin. A lot of people are probably looking at and thinking, oh, budget blackout. And last year we had 2 budget blackout skins, that being Dragon Rage. Dragon Rage, sorry. Dragon Rage, so that started off with the clothing, and, well, that did 28,000 sales each. Those sold at $2.49 and $1.99, though, so them being at a higher price probably helped not seeing ridiculously high sales, but still, 28,000 sales is still fairly high, isn't it? Anyway, so this came out, they're now selling at $9 and $5. I wonder why? Well, because it was the very first pieces to come out. Every time we saw a new core piece group come out being added, this spiked up in demand and price. So this is still holding up quite comfortably, but this was a $2.49 skin. It's only $2.73 at the moment. But post-Christmas time, this was selling a lot better. So regardless, all of this, it's doing okay at the moment. And they all sold fairly high. This did 28,000 sales each. These two, on average, did like 34,000 sales. And then the kilt came out, and that's just under 34,000 sales. The main point I'm trying to get across to all of you is, even with a high amount of sales, if the demand is there, people will be buying them as time goes on, and the price should hold up quite nicely. Just go take a look at Whiteout, for example. That's always on the front page of the Rust Steam Market. We also had last year Black Gold, so get a good look at that. Black Gold is over here. Yep. Initially started off with just weapons, but then we ended up getting the core pieces accepted, so we had clothing and armor. These did 23,000 sales each. The tier 3 did about 23,000 sales, and then the kilt ended up doing about 24,000 sales. That wasn't that ridiculously high, was it? But as you can see, they're all holding up very nicely based on the prices that they sold for in the Rust store. They are now doing very nicely in terms of being a nice profitable set. So by default, I'm looking at it and I am thinking, yes, this is going to probably be very in demand, and I'm pretty sure that we're probably going to be seeing these going over 30,000 sales. But it's the very first core piece, and as of now, it should be okay, because I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we see Hoodie and Pants or Tier 2 being submitted to the workshop at some point over the course of potentially this month. And I wouldn't be surprised if it gets accepted. Every single pirate skin submission has been accepted. Let me just point this out. When I scroll down, there's nothing there. So yeah, every single pirate skin submission has been accepted so far. I feel like Face Punch is very happy with this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are very happy with it based on the amount of sales we've already had. So as of now, everything's lining up for this to be perfectly fine, potentially in the long term. In the short term, there is June that we have to get through, and that potentially might be a problem. I'll explain that towards the end of the video. But yeah, Pirate Tier 3 potentially should be perfectly fine. Maybe, possibly. Like, sales are definitely going to be the main issue. And remember, we don't need to rush into this, right? We've got to play it smarter. This isn't abnormal as well, so we can't do the early buy orders. So I'm just going to sit here and say, look, if you like it, by all means, buy it, use it, enjoy it. Enjoy the skins, support those skin creators. But if you want to buy like 10, 20, 30, 50, 100... you've got to play it a bit smarter. You've got to take your time. You've got to approach this with a smarter approach. You probably want to wait until maybe Wednesday. Look at the amount of sales, then make the decision, all right? If we have like 50,000 sales by then, probably not a good idea to jump in and buy some. Maybe it's better off just to do a buy order. Cool? Understand? Right. So, yeah. Let's now proceed to start talking about the shipping container garage door. Now, I fully expected this to be accepted. I talked about it yesterday. I talked about it throughout the past week. And the reason why is because this came today. We knew this was coming. So this is selling for like, what, $13.99 now? Cool. And with the anticipation of its arrival, what do we see here? All of the container door skins were bought out. So this really got some momentum on TikTok. Lots of people talking about it. All of these doors got bought out because they're all, fairly decently going to be fine to blend in with the likes of all of the variety of colours that we can use with the shipping container skins. Because you can have green, red, orange, blue, darker red. There's like 18 different colours. Very nice. So all of those got bought out. Now I'm looking at this now and I'm thinking, right, not surprised that it's doing a ridiculously high amount of sales initially. I think, honestly, this might work out quite all right in the end. And yeah, you can only have the green. You can only have the green container. Okay, big whoop. That's a big problem, is it? Well, just go take a look at this. This probably was the advertisement that got a lot of people interested. Look at that. Blends in very nicely with the green container skin right there. And I think a lot of people will be doing that from here on now. This is potentially going to be holding its demand, its value. It's going to probably be doing all right. It's also abnormal, so we can do our buy orders first, then make a decision whether we want to buy it or not, maybe on the Wednesday night or Thursday, depending where we are in the world. So we have that added benefit. This is probably going to do 30,000 sales. And I think, based on this building skin as well, I get the feeling people aren't going to care too much about the fact that we've had so many garage doors accepted so far this year. So let's just give you a nice little insight. So far this year, we've had 10 marketable skins and 2 garage door skins given away back in January. I get the feeling this is stealing this skin's thunder. This was comfortably sitting at around 15% positive. But, well, the alternative option for a nice bit of green camouflage in the shaded foresty areas, you now have this with the shipping container skin. Because if you really want to do it this way, the camouflage net rug costs like $15 now. You might as well just buy the shipping container DLC. So yeah, I honestly think that's probably going to be doing quite all right in the long term, hopefully during this year as well. So yeah, I think it's going to be reasonably okay. But we can't guarantee anything. So again, we'll do our abnormal buy orders first, and then we'll look at it, then we'll make a decision whether or not we want to jump in and buy it. Sounds good? All right, perfect. And then the last skin that I think is going to be reasonably okay to talk about today in terms of what potentially might be a good investment is the No Mercy crate. Guys, you might not be aware of this, but No Mercy is the biggest collection in Rust right now. It has over 30 different skins. So, by default, it's got a lovely family to join. You know, it's going to get its appreciation. And during post-Christmas time, you tend to see all of the No Mercy skins go up in price. A lot of the people that always return to Rust, they know No Mercy Collection. They love No Mercy Collection. They buy out the No Mercy skins. This right here, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I think it's not going to really be that type of skin that's going to stonk. I think it's going to be one of those skins that's just going to be casually going up and down around its Rust door price, $2.49. Now, this probably won't sell that much this whole week because these free skins are going to be taking away all of the attention, all right? So keep that in mind. This actually might not sell that much. And if you look at all of the more recent large box skins that have been accepted this year, let's go take a look at that. Come on. Hey! Yeah. I reckon we're probably going to end up between 15 to 20,000 sales for this, and based on what you see all of here, that seems to be the average sale amount. So part of an established collection potentially should be doing all right. And very weirdly, a lot of large box skins recently have been bought out, and they're starting to go up in price. So I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be steady. You know, if you were to sit there and ask me, Hedge, out of all of these skins, which of these skins would most likely hold their value, I think it's going to be this one. Hold value, though. That doesn't necessarily mean big profit, okay? Because these free skins potentially might be oversaturated with a ridiculous amount of sales, you know. More stock in comparison to genuine demand, you know. That can lead to problems. But this right here, I think it's going to be nice and steady, and I think as time goes on, it's just going to be comfortably, slowly rising in price. Yeah, so that right there, I'm fine with it. I think he's going to be okay. And if you were to sit there and say, should I just buy some? Well, it's also abnormal, right? So we can do our abnormal buy orders on this, and then we can make considerations whether we want to buy it on the Thursday or Wednesday night, depending where you're on the world. That's a lot of talking, wasn't it? Right, the bad things that I need to talk about. I've already mentioned it before, but it's pretty much near enough almost about to happen. With CSGO, I've mentioned this many times, we are going to have the 75% discount happening soon, but one of the things that, you know, the precursor thing that's about to happen, the precursor to it is usually the release of the Champion sticker capsule. It has finally happened. It has appeared. We now have it. We did our bar to show the stickers. I am expecting the 75% discount for all of these sticker capsules to be happening maybe at the end of this week, as in maybe tomorrow, or some point next week. So all of these capsules are going to go down by 75%. They're going to be 25 cents each. Loads of people will be buying them. Loads of people will be opening them, trying to get all of those stickers. And basically, they're going to need to sell things to get money to then go buy these things. And that means our Rust skins, yes, our beloved Rust skins, very likely will be affected, all right? So we've got to keep that in mind. June is not looking to be a fun month. And then we also have the summer sale beginning towards the very end of June. So a lot of people might be selling their skins to get money to go buy cheap Steam games. Understand? Do you want me to scream and shout all of that all over again? Please don't make me do that. I need to lie down. Now, just remember, if I didn't mention any of the other skins, it's most likely because they're just not looking to be that good of an investment, right? I'm sorry, but again, we're looking at the financial perspective. We're trying to figure out what the best skins are to potentially buy a lot of and then sell for a decent profit, whether it's in the short term or most likely in the long term. There is one little thing that I will mention. Low Poly Python very likely will be the least bought skin of the week. And basically, we've seen many times in the past where the lowest selling skin ends up getting manipulated, right? This isn't something I'm going to sit here and say you should rely upon. But if this ends up only doing like 5,000 or 6,000 sales by the end of next week, probably worth a shot. See what happens. Yeah. A lot of skins have been affected like this over the course of this year. The least selling skin tends to get manipulated. Not always, and it's not guaranteed. It's something to keep an eye out for, all right? So, with that, I screamed, I shouted, and I hope I got the words all in front, all into your head. Thank you for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. I hope I helped you all out, and best of luck to all of you, gentlemen. And, yaha fiddly-dee, being a pirate, whatever. I want to see a pirate rock. That'd be cool. Or a pirate's captain hat. Or a pirate's jacket. Why not, Jay? Come on. I'll catch you all later. See ya. Goodbye.